And we got a great show today. We're going to talk about mail. We always like doing that, and it's a ramp up to something else. So let's see if it's working over here. Always like doing that. Yeah, it's good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. And let's get over to the news. First, of course, I learned something on this score. Here's a commercial from Iron Brew, one of the second most famous drinks from Scotland, which I didn't know anything about. I thought it was some new drink that I'd never heard of before, but here we go.
Tastes like bubblegum.
Hey! It tastes like Tutti Frutti. Bubblegum! Tutti Frutti! Sour! Lemon!
It's tingly.
No! Bath bombs! Green soda!
Orangey.
That's ginger, Bob.
Partners, let's just agree it tastes magic.
Magic. Okay, so anyway, that's a crazy commercial, and it gives you a hint of all the things people say it tastes like. But some of the reason is that it contains ammonium ferric citrate, a food additive containing iron hydroxide, resulting in an indescribable flavor. It was invented in 1901 and contains 32 flavors. I didn't know any of this stuff. So now I'm going to have to try Iron Brew, and that's the magic of advertising. The magic of advertising is that you can take something that I never even heard of, and I can say, I think I'm going to give that a try. Magical. It's the rock solid center of capitalism, of consumer choice. And that is what we're talking about. So, come on over tomorrow afternoon to dmcny.org, the Direct Marketing Club of New York.org at noon Chicago time for me, John Sisson, and Debbie Roth from Japs Olson. And we're going to talk neuroscience. We're going to talk data science. We're going to tell you why direct mail is the most powerful advertising medium available today and the most cutting edge. And if you don't believe it, come on there, ask questions, comment, and we'll fight it out. Okay? It ought to be fun. It ought to be fun. Anyway, as a ramp up to that, I'm going to try and give a little my side of the picture tomorrow morning. So stay tuned. Come in there and fight with me. It'll be easier, and you'll have a better chance of having input, because the Advertising Club, Direct Marketing Club of New York, has a lot bigger viewership than me. And a lot of agency people, a lot of omni-channel marketers, maybe even some big brands. So if you're like a printer in the New York metro area or the East Coast, you want to be there, that's for sure. So enough of a commercial. I love commercials. Commercials are capitalism. Did I just say that? Yes, I'm going to say it again. Okay, let's turn this off. You like my little sign? The style consultant made that for me. Okay, here we go. Maureen Powers is president of Direct Marketing RRD, which I'm guessing is R.R. Donnelly, okay, which sounds like a big deal to me, probably is. So I tried to read with interest her article from PI World. She has a lot of stuff here about how consumers have magically shifted and it's here to stay. And of course, that remains to be seen. We're not sure about any of that stuff. She makes the case, or makes the claim, that consumers have become less brand loyal because of shortages and other issues, like, they closed the store. How about that'll change your shopping habits? And to combat this, marketers must deliver, and I was hoping she would say, quality goods at quality prices. No. Here comes the marketing pitch. Individualized communications that reinforce brand relevance and connection. Look, if you can't get it there in a store near me, or you can't get it there online, then no amount of individualized communications will cut it. And that's the truth. And I'm kind of sick of hearing it. I'm kind of sick of hearing, we know all about you and we can predict what you'll do and we know what you'll buy next. And if we could just do that better, then the world would be a better place. I wrote a book back in about 2007 and it had the same lies in it. In those days, it was lies. I don't know, maybe I wrote it in 95. I wrote it I started working on it in the 90s anyway. And the lies were all from the direct mail community about target marketing and targeted and one-to-one marketing and all these lies. And, so let's drop off. You can start the article right about here. And it doesn't get on why mail is best. What it basically does is reinforce that you can do stuff in the mail. You can do a multi-page mailer. Okay, you can't do that in digital. You kind of can. You can perfume. You can do scented samples in the mail. But what's the impact? Maureen, if we do scented mail versus unscented mail, if we build a control, if we do a scientifically valid experimental design, do we make any money? Or is it just that we could? And there's precious few scented samples going in the mail, by the way, so it can't work that well. Just saying, must be postcards because I get a lot of those. I'm not sure they work. I'm not sure they're tested, but it would be great to have that as a cornerstone of these articles, especially from people who should know better like PI World that just say, give me a split test. Give me something. If you're going to talk in your title about marketing ROI, stick a spreadsheet in there or a graph or something and show me what the return on investment is. There isn't one word of it other than here, okay, that you could have it maybe if you figured it out and decided to measure. Maureen, I know you're really important and you're a big contributor to the direct mail industry, but man, oh man, what a shame. Anyway, you can product sample. Yeah, again, I don't get many of those in the mail. Not much. Not really any. And my wife, who buys a lot through the mail, doesn't get them either. Direct mail offers marketers the opportunity to better understand attribution and allocation. Now that's true, but you don't say why. Why? Because there's 100% delivery. You can track every piece of mail. The U.S. Postal Service gives you that with informed visibility. You can notify the customers that have informed delivery. You can not only that, but you can assure that every household has engagement. Why? Because you have to touch it. You can't just let it lay there. Digital, it's there and it's gone. It's there and it's gone. Mass media, there and it's gone. Billboards, whoosh, and you drive by and you don't have to do a thing. They're gone. Everything else disappears. Mail stays on your kitchen table. You have to pick it up and look at it. There might be something that matters in there. Or might be something you're interested in. You have to look at it. And you know what? It has to be the decision maker in the household. It can't just be anybody. The kids aren't allowed to throw the mail in the trash on the way home. We used to ban the kids from picking up the mail. Why? Because we'd find pieces along the driveway. We have a long driveway. It has to be looked at by the decision maker. So we're already tons ahead of the random clicks that Google thinks is so great. And then they have a 50% bounce rate, right? Which means if you're paying $1 a click, it's double that just to get to engagement. With mail, do you think we can do mail for $1 a piece and get engagement in every household that we mail to? I just proved it to you. Okay? And after that, Google's response rates aren't any better than mail. At best, right? And you can't do all these other things. So the reason we can do attribution is not because of mail magically being digital or something. It's because we know who we mail to. And if they order, we know who they ship to. So we can match back the orders. If you put an ad on Facebook and they go to your site, it's very difficult to know if that's the same person that saw the ad, especially with third-party cookies being turned off and it's hard to launch across outside the walled garden. Yeah, I know if you take the order on Facebook, you probably know. But you know what you don't know? You don't know who looked at it and decided, engaged with it, and decided not to buy. Not at the individual level. You do in mail. Because we know we mailed you. We know you had to get it. We know you had to get it, engage with it, and you didn't buy. So we now have a data set. And that's why mail analytics are light years ahead of every other medium. Right there. Does she say that? No, it's too bad. Maybe she doesn't understand it. I don't think anybody much does. Okay, so 3 ways direct mail can lift response rates. Localization. Yeah, you know, you can mail around the household. 3 of your neighbors just purchased the same solar energy package. So we're going to offer you a nuclear generator for your backyard, anyway, so that you can support them. Anyway, targeting based on advanced analytics. You know what? Even Google admits their analytics are from the 50s. This is just, everybody says it. You know, I wonder, you know, I called up I got in touch with one of the people that I took issue with their article, and they told me, oh, I didn't write that. My PR lady wrote it. So maybe Maureen didn't even see this or something, but she put her name on it. So I would hope she would. But let's let you in on a dirty little secret of predictive modeling. I have done started in 1994, building a database, a modeling system for Hudson Bay Company. So that's what, I don't know, it's a long time, 26 years or something. Anyway, 25 years, 26 years, we've been building modeling systems. I've probably built thousands of models for some of the biggest mailers in America and some big Fortune 500 companies like Adobe. Okay, so here's the secret. Likely to be best targets. We don't model on best targets. We don't. I'm not saying people don't, but it's a bad idea. So, for example, if you mail 500,000 zip codes, if you mail 500,000 mailing pieces, you'll only hit about 20,000 of the 50,000 zip codes. You're not anywhere near saturating the number of zip codes. And each zip code can contribute a geodemographic piece of information. We know what the neighborhood is like at a zip code level. We know at a census tract level, pretty much. I mean, we kind of know some things about it. The trouble is, if you go to the census tract, you'll get noise. You'll get, well, it's like what we did. We did a 500,000 piece mailing. We mailed 2 pieces, you know, and the average, or the mode is 1 piece into a zip code out of the 20,000. Most of them have 1 or 2 or a very small number. Okay, there's very few zip codes that get a lot of pieces of mail, but you know, and then the orders. How many? And this was for a subscription, a $20 a year or $15 a year subscription. So high response rate, low average order, and we only ticked off about 2,200 of the 50,000 zip codes that even had 1 order. But then you run into something like this. Down in Phoenix, we had a zip code that only got 1 piece of mail but got 2 orders. Now there is a target market for you. 200% response rate in that zip code. Is that true? No, it's totally meaningless. The uncertainty level is higher than the value of the information. So instead, what we did was we said, well, let's look at the worst zip codes. And what would we define as a worst zip code? Let's look at the places where we mailed dozens or hundreds of pieces into a zip code and didn't get any orders. That's worse than mailing 1 in and not getting an order. So we started putting a cost associated with the cost of contact. And what do you know? We were able to find the likelihood of not ordering, which is way easier. You know, if you take the billionaires of America and decide who's going to buy a Ferrari, very difficult. You know, they could decide in an afternoon or decide not to. But if you take the people who aren't billionaires and say how many could afford a Ferrari, well, you know, then you're limited to probably illegal activities, and they're hard to get data on. Okay, I didn't want to make it this much. And, you know, if you can't figure out that, you're not going to figure out lifetime value either, probably, because you don't have contact cost associated with the people who you don't know if they saw it. Facebook doesn't tell you who saw it, who saw it or didn't see it. You don't know. You only know the people that engaged and bought. You know who they targeted. That doesn't tell you on an individual level. Mail does. Okay, enough of that. Let's go over here. This is actually customer security. She also doesn't mention that CCPA and GDPR basically are not tailored to mail. There's nothing really in there that says you can't mail people. Nope, because mailing addresses are pretty much public information. So it comes outside of the secret stuff that you might have collected. And we usually mail from co-ops, which, you know, have transaction history and other things. Okay, so anyway, Maureen, happy to talk with you. Happy to have you on the show if you want to address those questions I have. This one is a great article by Chris Hofmann. I'm sorry I went so long in the beginning of this show on other things. Chris is from the University of Wisconsin and Minnesota, so he's right. You know, we should be friends, but I don't know if I've ever met you, Chris. There's been a lot of disruptions to digital marketing and third-party cookie, privacy regulations, always sprouting walled gardens, and consumers' own privacy-related actions. A digital data crisis, right? And Chris and the Apple thing, well, they went down 10%. Of the U.S., only 10% opted in. Now, I have an article over here that shows the impact, supposedly, of the Apple privacy shift on Facebook, but they said in July it's pretty much bounced back. I don't see that here, but time will tell on that one. So I'm not sure digital is dead, probably not, but the data deprecation continues to spread across digital channels. That's true. Okay, what about alternative data? Okay, and what Chris is talking about is direct mail. Okay, there's offline data sources. We can find you, like we're working on this hunting project. We were able to find 2 million hunters that had bought hunting licenses and also bought in e-commerce or catalogs. That's a pretty good number to start with. You know, how would you get that out of Facebook? How much money would it cost you? And would you be guaranteed that they saw it? No. Okay. Data and modeling, we can take second and third party data sets and we can figure out something. We can at least rule out what isn't going to work. These look-alike models, you know, again, your best customers love you, and it could be a quirk. It could be because their mother dropped them on their head when they were a baby or something. I'm not implicating mothers. You probably were jumping out of the crib. Your mother tried to catch you. But anyway, these lookalike models don't rely on cookies or conversion pixels, but rather actual purchase behavior. You know, that pixel tracking attribution is dangerous because it assumes that because you went to the web and then bought on the web, that was the main causal force. But it doesn't really address the question of why did you go to the web in the first place? Or maybe you went to the web 6 months ago and the first party cookie that you have on that site could still be first party cookie, is still active on your computer, and so now you purchase and the web gets all the credit. Does that sound rational? Well, it does, unless we can prove that we mailed you, either right before you got the cookie or right after you, or right before you placed the order. Watch out about your attribution model. A lot of times they're built by people who were raised on Google Analytics and have a bias toward digital. Okay, digital campaign attribution is display. You can get the same kind of, well, we're working on a system that'll give you even better tracking on mail than you'll ever get on digital, because it'll not only show you who did, but who didn't, and it'll be instant. As soon as they interact with you, as soon as they come to your site, you'll know where they came from, independent of any tracking cookies. And here's Chris, and he's, like I said, from the University of Wisconsin. Have a great day. Like and share. I hope you got something out of it. I got to look for my buttons. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget, dmcny.org, Direct Marketing Club, New York.org. Go over there, register. Let's have some fun. Let's raise a cloud of dust in New York City.